One last thing, Destiny. You're saying that I just put information out, goes around in circles, and we don't know how to create anything with that information, sort of similar to what you're doing. Um, I'd like to sort of point out to you that I did want to talk with your group, and without very little effort, in a way, you're communicating. Although you want it to be as distant as possible, this communication is still going on. You're making video responses about me, and I'm making video responses about you, which means there is a communication going on. And I didn't have to do anything. I just voiced my opinion and waited until you were ready. Every single person that's got a hate on me, that does all these videos and posts on me, I want to talk to them. Every single one of them. I want to find out where I'm wrong. I'm just waiting until they're ready to communicate with me. Right now, they're not. I'm not going to push things on my time. I'm going to let everybody do it in their time. I think that that's the right thing to do. I'm not going to push myself on anybody. I'm going to wait for everybody to come to me. And it's just really ironic that it's happening. So when you say I don't know how to make things happen, I wanted to communicate with you, and look at, lo and behold, I made that happen. It got attracted. The conversation is happening. So that's sort of like, do you know what I'm doing? Because I'm working on world peace. That is sort of my life mission, is world peace. And that's kind of what you're after, is world peace as well. It's a matter of, is your idea better than my idea? Or is my idea better than your idea? And the only way you're going to be able to figure that out is if you have communication, like what we're having now. It's kind of dysfunctional, because there's nothing wrong with sitting at the same table and having the conversation there, nice and peaceful and lovingly. It's more productive, it's faster. But if you want to do it through this video responses where you are blocking me from even posting a comment on your channels, it's like you are rejecting information. You are rejecting the conversation while at the same time wanting the conversation. And I kind of, it's like, kind of look at that. Does that make any sense to you whatsoever? So there's no question in my mind that I will be creating world peace, because anything that I've ever wanted to create always, always, always gets created all the time. I've never, ever, ever seen this not work. It works 24/7. Everybody's doing it, you know. And the funny thing about creating world peace is all you have to do is be peaceful within your own world. Be the example that you want to be. And people learn from example. And as long as I'm setting the perfect example, then world peace will just unfold naturally. Now, am I there yet? I'm working on myself. When I am ready, then the rest of the world will be ready. But I'm not something that everybody should mirror yet, because I still have a few things going on that I'm still working through. And once I work through those few things, poof, like magic, it'll happen pretty instantly. So, um, I know how to create. There's no question, I know how to create. I'm in the process of creating world peace. Can you see it? And does it going to happen tomorrow? Is it going to happen in 2 weeks? Don't know. I'm still working on self. As soon as myself solves all of the issues that I deal with, then I'll be there. But I'm working on myself. I'm pumping out videos. I'm offering advice, not for anybody to follow. I'm not doing anything to gain any attention. I know how to gain attention, and I'm not after that. I'm after just putting out videos and then looking at my own videos and seeing if I can follow my own advice. And this particular video is not necessarily even done for you, it's done for me. Because maybe today I needed to hear confirmation of myself. Maybe today I needed to hear, hey, yes, you are going to do it. Have more confidence in yourself. Have more of a will to live, because you know this shit works. You know, maybe I needed to hear these words more than you needed to hear these words. And that's kind of the thing. So it's like when I am ready for world peace will just unfold naturally. And if we all did that, if everybody just worked through all of their own issues, transformed everything, everything is causal. Every problem has a solution. While you're stuck in the problem, you ain't seeing any solutions. So it's like jump out into the solutions because you see a completely different picture there. But you're very, very, from my observation, you're very, very stuck in the problem. So you can't see the solutions because you are the problem. You know, when you start seeing, hey, I am the problem, then you're part of the solution. And that's what I had to do. I had to look at everything that I'd seen in my world was wrong, and then I had to see, hey, I'm sustaining everything that's wrong. So I need to make some changes within myself so that I can create a new different type of matrix to survive in, which is what everybody's got to do. Everybody on this planet has to say, I was wrong. And until everybody does that, you're stuck in the problem because you are the problem. I only respect people when they say, I was wrong, and you know exactly where you're wrong. I don't, sorry is a meaningless word. Sorry for what? You know, if a person is actually sorry and they admit they're wrong, then the behavior is completely gone. But if somebody ever says the word sorry and the behavior is still repeating, they still haven't seen where they're wrong yet. So it is a really, really wild game, this game of life. But right now we're just experiencing the problem. Solution's right around the corner. It's there. You just got to be able to see it, but you got to come out of the problem to see the solution because the solution is like outside. Do you know most of all of reality is invisible? Don't you find solutions are invisible? But solutions are there equally as a problem is. As soon as a problem is born, the solution is born too. But it takes time and particles, it's space and time basically, that it takes to develop the comprehension to be able to see what's invisible. But as soon as you can see what's invisible, then you can see what the solution is. Because the solutions are always invisible when you see the problem. And when you're tunnel visioned on the problem, you have no openness to see the solution. But you actually have to be a lot more open than what the Destini group is. The levels of closeness can be shown in blocking people, lack of communication. Those are all signs that you're being closed, not open. Kind of get the definition of what does open look like and what does closed look like. Every cell in your body is like a receiver. It sends and receives information. So I am not seeing the Destini group receive information, but I see they're heavily stuck on sending out information. And as soon as you start seeing your receivers are not really working all that well, then you are stuck in the problem. But it's like those that are pushing information out need to work a little harder on opening up their receivers because they're not receiving anything, and maybe shut down your sending out of information, because until you can receive, you can't send anything that's logical. You have to have it open. Both ends have to be open. You have to be able to receive and send at the same time, otherwise you're dysfunctional. And that's the behaviors that I'm seeing within this Destini group. Is you're very, very close-minded, and by that definition, nobody within that group is self-honest with yourselves, and yet your whole group is based on self-honesty. Are you, you want to talk about heavy science in your group? Is that not true? Is every cell in the human body, does it not have sending and receivers in it? I mean, because if you're missing out on that science, it's out there. Go do some research. I've done the research. I am not one that's going to give you the links because it's so important for you to do the work yourself. So you go and find out. Bruce Lipton is a good guy that'll show you how cells operate. Watch everything on Bruce Lipton and you'll get it. He was into stem cell research and ended up finding out that you can change DNA using some of the sciences that he discovered. We actually have each cell actually sends, receives, and it actually has a weighting process. So um, I think your group is a little off there. Your cells aren't really functioning all that well at a cellular quantum level. And if things aren't working within that cellular level, it unfolds in the bigness of your world. So that's why your cult isn't being very successful. That's why so many people appear to be hating you, is because they're trying to send information that you're not able to receive. But anybody that's hating your group, they just got something to say. That's all. They just have a concern. That's all. And you are not able to negotiate what their concerns are. You have zero interest in what their concerns are. So if you have zero interest in what their concerns are, you actually know you're causing a problem for them. And they don't label them as being haters. Label them as people that want to solve a problem that you don't want to solve, and because you are the problem. But as long as you're going to say people that hate are the problem, then you'll never ever see it. But, you know, if anybody's coming up and saying, hey, there's a problem with you, then there's a problem with you. You cannot deny it. Why are you attracting somebody say something's wrong? You cannot say it's always everybody else. Sometimes you have to look at self and say, why would anybody say I'm wrong? That is what I do. If I have all of these people hating me, it's only logical I need to sit down and talk with them. I do have my rules that say we're going to be peaceful, loving, and calm during that peace table. Sorry, but that is my one and only thing. You can be right about everything, but that's one thing that I will be right about, is having a conversation that looks peaceful and calm, because the end result of what we want is peace and love. So if that is the end result we want, the only way to find it is by being in the state that we want it to be. So anybody that wants to argue, fight, and be negative in the negotiation type conversations to even tell me I'm wrong is non-productive. It's not something that I want. But I know that everybody else is interested in peace and love. They're just not ready for it yet. And I've been there myself. I've been angry as hell. I had a lot of shit go on in my life. And I mean, when people want to say, hey, love's the answer, that was the biggest thing that pissed me off, because love did not pay for food when I walked in the grocery store. The only thing love in a state of being of love is you access good information. Only when you're really, really pissed off do you say things you're kind of sorry for, because you're accessing wrong information every time you're really, really pissed off. But if you're peaceful and loving, I've never had the woulda, coulda, shouldas when I'm really peaceful and loving. You always access good information when you're peaceful and calm. So, if nobody's ready to have that conversation with me, people that are disliking me, people that are saying that there's a problem with me, I have to admit there's something wrong with me to have people say they hate me. That's being self-honest. I want the peace table under the condition that if we all want peace, come to the peace table peacefully. It's the only thing I ask. And so far that hasn't shown up. But it took you, Destiny, a while for you to show up. And I let you show up when your time was right. And same with everybody else that has a hate on me. I'm waiting for them to be a little bit more peaceful and have more of a strong will to, solve a problem. And if I am the problem, then point it out to me. Show me where I am going wrong, peacefully and lovingly. I don't know. Seems to me that I know how to make things work. Burn to the destiny. Peace out.